What's up, everybody? Axmism here. It's been a while. Sorry, some things have been going on. Uh, yeah, where do we even start? It's been probably like over a month since my last video, and probably like a few months since my last video on any of the content that people actually probably subscribe for. So, where have I been? Quite a few things have happened. Uh, let's start with the most recent thing, though. My computer is broken, and I'm working on getting a new part for it, but don't worry about it. It'll be back up and running eventually. But it's been hot and humid here, and I stupidly left my window fan on overnight, blowing in, and a storm happened, and it got really moist, and it just kept blowing all the moisture in. And so I woke up to not only being wet, but everything was covered in like a layer of condensation. That it seemed like morning dew sort of thing, you know? And so I did what I could. Had to throw on clothes real quick, get to work, because running out of time. So I did that. I put a dehumidifier in my room, and then I rode my bike to work. And then I got back, and my computer wouldn't turn on. But in some testing, first thing I did was, okay, maybe it's a bad power supply. Swapped out the power supply, because I've got like 3 other older ones here. None of which, or one of them was up to the power, but none of which are up to the wattage required for my new snazzy graphics card I got a while ago. And tried 3 different power supplies. Nothing. I took out video card. I unhooked, I unplugged the storage. I unseated the RAM and tried to boot it. Still wouldn't do anything. I would press the power button, and one of the fans would move just slightly, and then it would stop. No beeps, no sounds, no lights, nothing. So I took it to work, ran some tests on it. Seems like the motherboard is hosed. We didn't have another motherboard of the same form factor, so I couldn't test the processor. At least I don't know how to. And so yeah, I need a new motherboard, which should be arriving at some point. And then I get to play the game of, is that the only thing that's jacked up? Is my graphics card bad? Well, I have an old computer. I hooked up what I could to it, my storage, hooked it up, and drives are just fine. This old computer has DDR3 RAM, not DDR4, so I couldn't test the RAM or whatever. And of course, it's a different chipset, different socket, so I couldn't swap my processor over to it and try that. I did try to bring over my graphics card and run that, because I do have a power supply that will power it. It spins, it starts up, but I don't think that this old-ass motherboard can handle the graphics card of this power. Or maybe it's just how it handles memory or something like that. I don't know. But this thing only has 8 gigs of DDR3, and my graphics card has 12 gigs for like virtual RAM. And yeah, the graphics card worked to a point where it would display the motherboard brand, like when it goes to the BIOS. But then once it would boot to a drive, the graphics card's fans would just stop spinning, and then I would just have a blank screen. So that's been fun. So yeah, and then let's see what else I've been up to. Oh yeah, so I've just been taking a break from, I don't know, a lot of things. I don't know if I'm going through like a midlife crisis or what, or if I'm just being really burnt out. I don't know. But what I do know is that work has been taking its toll on me, like it always has been for a while. And I feel like I have to give so much of myself at work that the time that I do have once I'm not at work, or spend doing the things that I want to do, the things I want to accomplish. Sometimes I don't have any left in the tank. I just want to just chill and relax or whatever. And I found that trying to do YouTube as well, it kind of turned my hobbies against me in a way. And it felt like that whenever I wanted to do something that I would find fun, whether it's, play guitar, or whether it's to play video games, or tabletop role-playing games, or just think of cool things, it felt like I shouldn't be doing those things unless I was making a video about it, which kind of turned my hobbies into another job. That's not how I intended it to happen, but after some time away and thinking on it, I think that's what happened. So I'm not going to quit YouTube, but I'm going to post very infrequently and only things I want to share. I don't want to force out content that I don't feel like doing. There's a lot of things that I feel like I have to do, and when I start to sit down to do them, I just don't want to do them. I lose interest and I can't focus on it. And yeah, so I'll give you some examples. A while ago, this guy Ken from Vindicta RPGs wanted me to review his Abyssal Horrors. I forgot what it was called, but it was like a occult horror, tabletop RPG. And it seemed interesting. However, that's not up my alley. And so I tried going through it, and I tried several times to make a video on it, and I still wasn't feeling it. On the flip side of the coin, something I was excited about is this nice guy named Cassio Zen liked my Cairn content, and he actually made a system that was based off of Cairn, and I forget what it was called. It was basically like Cairn, but like futuristic. It was awesome. There was like neuromancy and stuff in it. It was like really cool. And I kind of liked that a lot. But I didn't have anybody to play it with. And every time I tried to make a video on it, it didn't feel like it was something I would watch. So I didn't put it out. And that kind of feels bad. So I told those people I was going to make a video, and I didn't. Which just further snowballs that stress of, oh my God, I should be making videos. I should be doing things. So then it feels like that my downtime is not my downtime, which sucks. And then even making the videos on things that I want to make videos on. So, for example, for Cairn, I love Cairn. Cairn's awesome. I like the second edition stuff. I was going through and making a video for every one of the second edition backgrounds. And I got through maybe 8 or 9 of them. There's 20 of them. And I stopped doing them because they all kind of started turning out to be the same. I kept saying the same things. And every time I tried to make one, I would make 3 unique characters for every background to kind of explore the variances and depth that you can get just from simple character creation in Cairn. And I don't know, I just felt like I was running out of things to say. Like, there's nothing else to say. This shit's fun. I liked making the characters. I wanted to play the characters. That'd be fun. But then I felt like compelled to keep making more videos because, well, I got like 13 more backgrounds to go. I got to crank these out. And that kind of felt bad. So then I just decided not to do those. I tried playing around with streaming for a bit because, maybe it's one of the big hurdles that I have with YouTube is that I suck at editing videos. I don't suck at it, I guess. I'm okay at it. I just don't want to edit videos. So the way that I edit videos is as lazy as possible with as minimal amount of editing as possible. Like this video right now. it's not going to be super high quality. It's just me freaking talking on a screen on a shitty camera. And the audio is probably going to suck too because it's on just a laptop camera or a laptop microphone. I got some filters and OBS set to hopefully normalize the volume and reduce some of the sibilance maybe, but it can only do so much. And then the lighting is bad. I don't even have my green screen up or anything. I'm just freestyling, you know what I'm saying? But yeah. So my video qualities, the quality of the videos I put out was going down. So it's getting lazier and lazier. I don't want to edit the damn videos. So I would make content in a way that required the least amount of editing possible. And what it felt like I was doing is I was just basically preparing like PowerPoints and giving like presentations, which is kind of a weird way to make content. And if I'm honest, as I watch the content, it's not very engaging content. So snowball just keeps getting bigger. Making content became a stressor as opposed to an outlet and something fun and exciting to do. And it kind of drove a wedge between me and the hobbies, the things that I enjoy. So my guitar, I hardly pick up my guitar anymore. Because every time I do, I feel like I should be, like, I don't know, making a song. And like making content and like videos or doing covers or something like that. Or just things, right? So when I'm usually playing guitar now, it's usually just unplugged. And I'm just kind of dinking around with stuff. Like this isn't even going to be picked up because of my noise filters and stuff on this microphone. So, but I haven't even really sat down and record a song in a while. And I used to do that pretty frequently. Now I don't. Playing video games. I used to just love getting lost in an MMO. World of Warcraft, spent many hours in that. Switched to Final Fantasy a few years ago. I loved that. Once Dawn Trail came out, I just wasn't really enraptured with the story, and I haven't even finished the patch quests and stuff. And every time I would log in, I would quickly log back out again. And I don't know why. I like playing that game. I like the people the friends I made in that game, and I just didn't want to log in. Baldur's Gate 3. I beat that game. I didn't beat it. I enjoyed the hell out of it when it was released. I was on some hard times, and one of my friends actually purchased it for me, which was awesome. Just gifted it to me, completely unexpected. And it was definitely during a point where I was super stressed. It was when I had lost my previous job, and I was looking, and the job market really sucked. And so being able to immerse myself in an immersive world was awesome. But at the time when I played that game, my computer wasn't good enough to endure Act 3. Once I got to Act 3, my performance just was complete shit. Just stuttering, no crashes, but just I felt like I had 4 FPS the entire time. And that kind of was immersion breaking. So I took a break from it. Tried a few more playthroughs. And made a few different characters. Played through Act 1 a bunch of times. And I figured now, since a little while ago, I purchased a better AMD graphics card for my Linux machine. And I upgraded the RAM. And I was like, okay, I should be able to run Baldur's Gate 3. And I started streaming it because I figured, you know what? This way I don't have to worry about editing it, and it'll still be an enjoyable thing. People can come on the stream and say hi. I love talking to people. There's some people who stop in chat every now and then who have been watching my videos since I was like at 100 subscribers, which is mind-blowing. But I don't know. I did maybe 3 streams of it, and then I just kind of stopped doing it because I just didn't have the interest. And I wasn't I was just kind of going through the motions because I wasn't necessarily playing the game. I was more engaged in the stream. And when I would watch back the playbacks or whatever, um, it wasn't very interesting. So I kind of felt bad about that. And yeah, so I just kind of took a break. So what have I been doing this whole time? Well, I've been trying to reduce my screen time. If I look back on the past like 2-3 years of my life, things have changed quite a bit. I'm talking about some random shit, right? So for example, beds, right? Beds are a common thing, you would think. You sleep in a bed, right? Well, for a while, I couldn't sleep in my bed. My back would hurt. And it was a nice soft bed. And then I started sleeping on the floor. And that was a year ago. And I've been sleeping on the floor ever since. That's been great. It's okay, cool. That's a weird thing. Like, I'm starting to think this whole bed industry is a lie. I have like a little mattress pad that's like maybe like an inch thick that I put on the floor. And it's on my back has been so much better. And I sleep a lot better. And I can sleep pretty much anywhere. So, for example, at work, I'm kind of jumping ahead. But recently, about a few months ago, I got really sick. I think I got COVID or something like that because it hit me for quite a few days. I missed quite a few days of work. And I was pretty weak. And then once I started feeling better, my energy levels have never caught up. And so now I feel even more burnout. So what I've been doing is every day at work during lunch, I eat and then I take like a half-hour nap. Like I lay in my office. I have a sign that I put like on the back of my monitors that says like I'm on lunch from this time to this time. And then I elevate my feet on a chair and I'm literally laying on my back on the floor, just passed out snoring. And I've been doing that like every freaking day. I was like, okay, that's interesting. About a year ago, I figured I'd try some barefoot shoes. Those have been kind of interesting. I found out that my legs have atrophied so much from having a sedentary lifestyle that I couldn't even sit on my tippy toes anymore. So barefoot shoes were not really a good thing for me because I didn't have the strength to not heel strike every time I would walk. So what I ended up doing is I just ended up walking softer and slower. And it was more comfortable for me because it's like walking around barefoot. I like walking around my house barefoot. So I would think, why can't I do this, out in public? But if I have to walk fast, my feet hurt. So I figured, okay, well, barefoot shoes are going to build my strength back, right? No. I don't even, my right calf is pretty defined. I can almost stand on my tippy toe and put all my weight on that. My left calf is completely atrophied. And I don't even know if it's just like a thing I should go see a doctor about or if it's just I need to work it out more. But I noticed that on my right leg when I'm listening to music, I'm always kind of like bouncing my leg. And it's kind of like I'm on the ball of my foot, just bouncing up and down. And so my calf is like hard, really engaged, and like it's like the muscles are there, right? I tried doing that with my left leg, and I can only get like, I don't know, maybe like 30 or 40 taps before like my leg was just exhausted. So when I listen to music, I'm trying to intentionally tap my left leg now. Hopefully that'll build it up. I don't know. It's just stupid things, right? And then probably the biggest change recently is I have been trying to ride my bike to work. At least I wanted to do it every day, every week, or every day of the week that I work. But so far, I've only been able to do it up to 4 days a week. But usually I average about 3. So the ride to work is 8.2 miles one way. I'm not sure what that is in kilometers. Let me look it up real quick for my non-American compadres. because most of my audience is actually outside the U.S., which is kind of shocking. Pretty cool. So let's see. Miles to Guyana. Let's see. So 8.2 miles. So it's about 13.2 kilometers one way. So that means that every day that I ride, I'm usually riding about 16.4 or 26.4 kilometers. So that's quite a distance, especially for a guy my size. I'm about 6'2". I'm 6'3" when I stand up straight. I don't even know what that is in metric. I'm sorry. I'm not going to waste time looking it up. But I'm 6'2" normally, 6'3" when I stand up straight. I'm a pretty big guy. And at the time I weighed almost 290 pounds, so which is pretty heavy. It didn't necessarily look like it in my videos because I was just mostly just chilling, sitting back. But I carried it well. Like, I got some movage going on here, but I'm packing a lot of heat in my ass. Tell you that, man. I got a dump truck of an ass, which is kind of funny. So I carried it well, right? I had dad bod galore. I was dummy thick. And I'm a little less dummy thick now. I'm down to 270 something. So I've just been riding my bike to work. I haven't been really watching my diet or anything. But just at my weight, just breathing, I burn about 2,700 calories a day, according to this Garmin watch that I've had for a few years. And every day that I ride my bike, I burn an extra anywhere between 600 to 1,000 calories a day just riding my bike to work. So that's been pretty fun. And it's given me a boost of energy, which is what I was looking for. That's why I started doing it, because after getting sick, I was like, oh my God, I'm tired all the time. This sucks. So I started getting more active, and riding a damn bike is about the only thing I can do right now. My push-ups are coming back. I can do up to 10 push-ups now from the toes. When I started, I couldn't even do one. I had lost those entirely. I can't do any pull-ups. Any core strength I had is gone. I can't even do sit-ups or rowers or anything. And so that's slowly coming back. But I'm not really following a program or anything. I'm just kind of doing something every day. I could be doing a lot more, but I don't want to get caught in that habit of I feel like I have to do something, right? So it's been kind of nice and relaxing just to kind of re-explore the movement at my own pace, and I've been liking it. So that's what I've been doing a lot. And then the hobby that I've fallen back on, since I'm not really playing computer games very much anymore, I'm not really making music anymore, I'm not really programming much anymore, what am I doing? Those are my hobbies. And that's been kind of shattering in a way, because if real life was an RPG, I put all my stat points into this nerdy shit. Like, I put all my stat points into guitar, I put all my stat points into computer games, I put all my stat points into programming and making video games and making programs and coding. I put all my stat points into like technology, like networking, security, things like that. And I don't use any of it. I mean, I use a lot of it at work, but so I've been reading books. I have an old Nook e-reader, one of the first e-readers that was on the market before before Amazon came out with the Kindle. And I have a bunch of old EPUB files on there. So I've been reading books. I recently read through the Game of Thrones series, and I'm pissed. I'm absolutely pissed, because I just finished book 5, and I was all pumped up for book 6, when that fat motherfucker George R.R. Martin still hasn't written that book after like 13 or 17 years or some shit. And there's 2 more books to go in the series. So I'm probably never going to read the end of that book. So I've been watching the Game of Thrones show. I'm on season 3 so far. It's pretty good. It started to deviate from the books a lot. So I've been kind of doing that. And then recently, I've been developing a new tabletop RPG system. I don't really have grand plans with it. I started it for my boys. I'm gonna make a second video or a separate video on that. But I've been making something just for me and my boys to play, because when we try to play Cairn, my eldest wants a lore-rich, immersive storytelling experience. And my youngest basically wants to play Grand Theft Auto. So it's kind of hard to reconcile those two play styles. And it just kept leading to frustration on everyone's part, because it wasn't necessarily a game that I want to play. I put forth the effort to like make something that would be, really cool and lots of options that they could pick. And then, my oldest really wants to go do this one thing, and then my youngest keeps doing the silly stuff like, I want to pants the priest, or I want to shove the guard into the water, or I want to punch the king in the face or something, right? It's like, what the fuck do you even do? So it's like, okay, I'm going to make a game that kind of suits all of our needs. So I'm making a gladiator style game, basically. And I'll do a video on that. Anyway, that's where I've been. I am working on trying to trade in my truck, because I don't think I can keep affording the payments on it anymore, because everything is getting so damn expensive. The price of food's going up. Everything keeps going up. I don't even really have any subscriptions anymore. I don't have any subscriptions. Yeah. It feels like every paycheck I'm tapped immediately. We used to be able to buy games and stuff for the kids. We used to be able to go out and do stuff, and now I'm like spending as little of money as possible. I'm staying home a lot. I'm riding my bike everywhere that I need to, if I can, but that's not going to work come winter. Winter, I have the additional expense for heat, and unfortunately, I make too much money to qualify for heating assistance. And then on top of that, I can't ride my bike in the winter. I'm going to get clapped by a fucking snowplow. Are you kidding me? If not a snowplow, then some crazy-ass fucking driver who doesn't know how to drive in the middle of damn winter because they think it's still summer, which happens every year. Like the first time it snows here, people just forget how to drive in snowy conditions, and they think that their brakes work, and they don't. And first time I drive to work, there's about 3 or 4 people that are in ditches because they didn't know how to fucking drive. And if I'm riding a bike, that's going to be me. They're going to slide into me. Or I'm going to cause an accident from people trying to avoid me. So I can't ride bikes in winter, which is going to suck. So I'm working on trading in my truck for something smaller. Hopefully older and more reliable, less bells and whistles, cheaper payment, cheaper insurance. Insurance is a fucking bitch right now. That's the biggest scam ever, isn't it? Anyway, thanks for coming to my TED Talk and rant. I don't even know really why I made this video. It's probably not very entertaining, but some people are probably wondering where I've been. That's where I've been. This is not going to be the last you're going to hear from me. I got other stuff coming down the wire, but I'm not going to force it. I'm just going to do it as it comes. I'm still working on my video game. Even though my computer died, I had everything backed up on the cloud. All the code is on GitHub, so I can pull that even to this laptop and still work on it. That's the other thing that we can talk about. Progress on the game. I've started that video series boldly named I Make a Game Start to Finish. I haven't finished it yet. I started that game like 3 years ago. It should be done by now. So what happened? Well, at first, I was making like a devlog probably every day or two, like every week at least, and adding new features. I mean, I started in GameMaker Studio 2. I ported it over to Godot. I changed the art style like 3 times because I was doing some stuff in like a paint program, and then those are just placeholder art to get started. And I was like, okay. And then AI was booming at the time, so it's like, okay, what if I just do a bunch of AI generated art? That'd be cool. And then, you know, as you do more research into it, you realize all the ethical concerns. And I was like, oh, I'm kind of robbing people's art without their permission and like brutalizing it. Probably not a good thing. So then I would make my own art. So yeah. So it's gone through a few different iterations, and it's also succumbed to scope creep because I've expanded the scope of it multiple times, which is stupid. As a developer, I should know not to do that, but I fucking did it anyway, and I'm regretting it. So right now, the last devlog I did is I was working on adding a feature for modders to make the game more moddable, like having mod tools built right into the game. And I figured it was going to help me make ships easier because I wanted to start cranking out a bunch of ships. But then I realized that I'm going to have to do some thinking and design on, like I didn't even have like the design of the ships, like the classes and the code and stuff fully fleshed out. I had an idea of what I wanted, and I just kind of coded as I went and made adjustments as I went. But then, of course, as with all things, it just became bloated. And I kept having to refactor it over and over again. And so now when I work on the game, I have a bunch of these half-assed finished features that I had to put a lot of work into to fix, and none of it really shows up in the game. It's all back-end tooling. And so I want to work on making the game, not the tools. So, because I make a bunch of tools and shit at work. That's what I do. I want to make a game. I want to make some fun. So right now I'm like 80% done with this modder tool to build ships. And I keep popping open Godot, and I just keep looking through the source code and kind of picking up where I left off. And then I kind of stare at the code for 15 minutes, and then I might make a comment here and there. I might make a small tweak, and then I just get fucking bored and close it because I want to be adding ships. I want to be adding weapons. I want to be coding cool new features. I want to be making aliens. I want to be making more planets. I want to be making space systems. And I'm stuck on a tool that lets me already do something I can do in Godot itself. So I think when I work on the game next, which there will be more devlogs on it, I'm going to sideline that tool for now. But at the same time, I've come far enough to where making this tool brought up a lot of shortcomings in how I made the ships. And so I've already refactored it to handle that stuff. So no matter what, I'm gonna have to go through and redo all my ships anyway. So it feels like I'm not delivering any new features, which is frustrating and not conducive to a relaxing, fun experience that I like to do when I come home. So I haven't abandoned it. I'm picking at it very slowly. But I think once I get to a point where I start actually making cool stuff again, and I have a whole list of stuff I want to put in it. Once I start making that stuff again, the devlogs are going to be more frequent. As for tabletop RPG content, I might talk here and there about it, but I don't know. It's probably going to be just limited to what me and my boys play, because with the schedules and stuff the way they are right now, and it's not only me that are not necessarily having hard times, but more difficult times than I was like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. It's kind of hard to get people together, and yeah, it's a lot. Anyway, enough of me ranting. This video is already a half hour long, so I'll work on getting my computer fixed. Should be back up and running in like a week or two once the part gets in. And but I've been having fun, doing less screen time. It doesn't look like it in the lighting, but I've actually gotten lots of sun. I'm much more tanned. If you want, I can show you one of my tan lines. Ready for this? Woo, look at that. See that white? You can't really see it there. You can't see it. It's just this white strip where my watch is. Yeah, fun stuff. Anyway, it's enough of me rambling. I will see you all in whatever video I make next, whenever I make it. But thank you for watching. Thank you for caring. It's awesome. And I'm sorry to disappoint you all. But yeah, I don't think I have it in me to be a full-time YouTube content creator. I don't think that's, even if I was making money, like tons of money off of this, I am making a little bit of it every now and then, which I'm extremely thankful for. If you don't know how YouTube works, you get a little bit of money off of like ad revenue, and sometimes people can donate like money, through like super chats and things like that, and it's happened a few times, which has been awesome. And then YouTube doesn't do a payout until you reach a payment threshold. And so what happens is, like every few months, a lot slower lately, but every few months, I get a nice little $100 payout, a little bonus, which is nice. And I'm trying to do it as ethically as I can. So for the ads, I used to have more control over the ads, as far as like whether it's just pre-roll or just post-roll ads. And I was just choosing only post-roll ads. And then they changed it to where it's either, do you want ads? Yes or no. Yeah, okay. Do you want mid-roll ads? Yes or no? No. Okay, that's it. Pre-roll, post-roll, done. Okay. I don't get much choice. Other than, do you want to monetize it or not? And of course I want to monetize it, because at the same time, a lot of my videos are longer videos, and I don't like putting mid-roll ads in the middle of it. And plus, if you haven't already, I encourage you to use something, a browser like Brave, which can eliminate some of the poor viewing experiences for, let's say, unpaid partakers of the YouTubes, right? So that's my pro tip of the day. But yeah. So I will still be making videos, just not as much, and only when I want to, not because I have to. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, listening to me ramble. I will see you in whatever video I make next, whenever I make it. There's ants on my computer. I have ants. Add that to the list of bullshit. I have fucking ants in my house, you fucks. I'll kill you all. Oh, all right. Later.